Last but not least, ESPO, European Seaport Organization, Isabelle Ryckbost. Sorry
yeah, I have a difficult name also in Belgium, so don't worry. Distinguished guests, good evening, and Mr. Campomenosi, thank you for this invitation and for supporting this initiative. And I'm also very proud that the Port of Livorno is one of the drivers in this exercise and in an initiative that really promotes and a breakthrough. I think this agreement has been a breakthrough, and I hope it soon gets materialized to have this SECA in a whole river basin, let's say, on the both sides. So I think this is really a breakthrough. Ports in Europe are unique crossing points between land and sea. And traditionally, they are places where ships are loaded and unloaded, where goods come in, where trade. So it's an opening to the world. It creates connectivities. But nowadays, ports are doing a lot more. They are hubs of energy. They are very active, and also landing points for all the blue economy and so on. They are hubs of industry. So they are becoming a lot more things are happening in the port. They are real multitaskers. But if you do something, then you can do something bad as well. If you don't do anything, nothing bad happens. So this is, who says activity says also emissions and externality, and that it's not typical for ports, but that's for every player, for every citizen, it's like that. And the big challenge is to further strengthen the ports, because we have seen it over the last years, with COVID, with now the solidarity lanes, with the energy, the energy supply. We have to guarantee that we need these ports. So we need to strengthen them, but at the same time, we need to reduce these externalities and of all the stakeholders who come into the port and of all the port activities. And this is more than ever important, because 90% of European ports are urban ports. They are historically, we learned it at school, that in the medieval times the cities were created at the sea, near the water, where the trade with other continents and regions was possible. So it's very important to do that. And in ESPO, we monitor since '93. We ask to European ports, what is your biggest environmental concern, or what is your top priority when we talk about environment? And since 2013, so almost the last 10 years, the number one, the top one, it's a bit special to speak about negative things, but the top one is air quality, or put it in a positive way, so the need to have air quality. And also on the basis of our data in our annual environmental report of all European ports, 71% of the European ports are monitoring air quality. So this is also a good sign that really the ports have it on their agenda. So it's clear that we applaud this decision to designate the Met as a SECA, and we think that it's a clear goal. So, but to achieve that, we know shipping is maybe not the only, but it's a large share of the emissions in the port area. Even if it's a CO2 efficient mode of transport, we must say it, but there is a lot of shipping, so again, a lot of activity, also a lot of emissions possible. So, but we need to advance with this greening of shipping, and this means decarbonization plus also improving the air quality. How to achieve that? Well, there we have to reduce the emissions at berth, in the port, but also during navigation. And ports are currently preparing and facing important investments on onshore power supply in the ports. It will be an important pillar of helping to reduce the emissions at berth, but this will not be enough, because we also have the emissions towards the port, the sailing towards the port, and the sailing during navigation. So we will also need an instrument, the Fuel EU, to tackle and place clear goals for reducing the emissions during navigation. And also engagements, for instance, from the shipping lines, if there is onshore power supply at berth, that it's also being used. So, but we need, and that is probably the most important thing, cooperation and coalitions of the willing. Because there is no one solution, everyone is looking how should we do it. You can't, and we also are a bit, and the Commission knows that, a bit reluctant to have a law saying, dictating one solution, because we think there are different solutions possible, and we think that the stakeholders, shipping lines, ports, and so on, there are different segments in shipping, there are different kinds of ports, so, and we have to find solutions. Also, I think in the SECA, if we talk about the NECA, about the short sea shipping between Europe and African countries, I think it's very important to look on both sides what solution can be found. So there we need this all hands on deck, and I would say all hands at berth to find a solution. And there the port, as Francesco is saying, can play an important role as well, as a kind of, in some ports it will be an enabler, in others an orchestrator, even some will be the spider in the web. So that depends a bit on the strength of the ports. But that, I think it's very important. My last point would say that for all this we will need a lot of funding. Funding will be crucial. Since the investments in the port, and that we know, we do it for the economy, we do it for the shipping, but there is no return on investment for the investing port authority. So we hope that really walk the talk, we always say, so that also the policymakers and so are realizing this need. Because we need to invest, we need shipping, we need ports, we need these connectivities more than ever, but we also need, and I think all citizens need, clean air. So I think it's not one and not the other, we need it both. So I hope we can, this is a big effort, and I hope with this project, I'm confident that solutions can be found. Thank you.